Hi everyone, this is Nayana here and welcome back to my channel. And this is Suraj, my husband. You might have seen him in my videos much before. It's at least been 2 years. The first one I had with him was our boyfriend tag video. And then the second one was how he proposed to me. And the most popular one we had was him explaining our Euro trip honeymoon budget.
Alright, let's do this. That's the most popular one?
Yes, I mean of ours.
I should start my own channel.
He's been saying this for such a long time, but I don't think he's doing that.
Yeah, I'm too lazy.
Yeah, he has an editor wife here, but he still doesn't want to sit in front of the camera and talk.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, finally, you appreciate the work I do.
I didn't say that.
Can
we edit that out?
Okay, anyway, so we have been together for almost 5 years now. Yeah, 5 years. And we've both, I guess, changed a lot over the time.
One of us has.
Yeah, I definitely have. In this video, we're going to be talking about how the change has been affecting him or how he's perceived those changes and what he feels about those changes. And because I've not just turned into a zero waster overnight, this year I even turned into a vegan, which was
drastic. That was part of the checklist as like, oh, she eats meat and she enjoys the same things and all that.
So that has gone away completely now. So I don't eat meat at all and I don't even drink milk anymore, which is a big thing for him because he's a huge tea person and I have stopped drinking tea now, which he thinks is a great thing because he now has to only make tea for himself.
No, now I have to make two kinds of tea. So,
one with my milk and his milk.
This is not going well for me so far.
And though he is not really a complete zero waster yet, he does reciprocate some of the practices that I do, but there are definitely a lot of differences that we have too. So anyway, today we will find out what are those things that bugs him about my lifestyle or the things that he appreciates about it and the things maybe he would want to consider for himself also. So stay tuned till the end of this video to find out. Okay, so let's now start with the questions. So, question number 1. How do you feel about this low waste lifestyle that I'm practicing now?
I think it's a really good thing. I mean, it's very obvious if you go out onto the streets, if you go to any tourist place, you can see how much waste is generated, how much stuff is just put about. And even within our cities, if you happen to pass by like one of the places where garbage is collected, it's not a very pleasant experience. So just reducing the amount of waste that is out there, and everybody knows now what kind of damage that does to the environment and the planet as a whole. So on an individual level, if you're able to reduce the waste that we produce, then that's a good thing. Yeah, rather than having to depend on agencies and governments and all that, I feel as citizens it's something we can do, and in that sense I appreciate what you're doing.
Alright, the second question is, was my transformation too sudden for you and how did you deal with it?
It wasn't sudden. I mean, it was a sudden transformation. It wasn't too sudden for me specifically because that's how she does things anyway. Yeah, dealing with it, I would say it didn't affect me too much because I was pretty clear that okay, whatever you're doing, I may not be able to get on board with fully to the extent that you are doing things. Yeah, it was crazy how quickly she switched over. It's small things that make her change her mind and decide, okay, I need to do this. And
sometimes things trigger me and then I'm just like...
Yeah, so I'm not the kind of person who can make a change like that generally. In that way it was drastic, but it didn't affect me as a person so much. It was just me kind of observing what she was doing and following along where I could.
Alright, so the third question is, how aggressive was I in the start?
Very. So yeah, I mean, also not just the start, even today, she's pretty aggressive about how things have to be done and following, certain practices and all that, which again is a very admirable quality, but it's not something that everybody can do on the same scale. Like, different people, I wouldn't say priorities, but whatever. The way we are set in our ways, some things may be easier to change, some things maybe not so much. And in the beginning, she was very aggressive that, I'm doing these 10 things and you are not doing these 10 things, and then that makes you like, you're not caring enough about the planet. I think over time, she realized that it's easier, and we've had these conversations where it is
rather not just easier, it was ineffective. That's what I found out.
Yeah, so which is what I say, right? I mean, it's better always to educate people and let them come to their own conclusions, because we can't all do everything that someone else may be doing. I think now that has become more of the case, and she's passing on the knowledge that she's gained from research and trying out different things herself. Seems to be leading by example now, which is, I feel, at least for people like me, much more effective, because I see what she's doing, I see the impact of what is happening, and if it is something that I feel I can get on board with, over time I try to slowly make that change.
So if you're not following me on Instagram at all, definitely follow me, because that is where I do lead by example properly. Like, I put up things that I do on a daily basis, small changes that I'm making or trying to make, mistakes that I've done, things that I've failed at. So I usually try to keep it very real. I'm very honest about things that I may have failed at, things that I can't seem to do. So if you haven't followed me there, definitely follow me there too. So the fourth question, what are the best changes I've made according to you?
I think composting is one of them. Again, this is something that is very visually, like, it's tangible, right? You have these waste bags that keep filling up every week, and then you keep going and tossing them in your garbage. So when that gets eliminated, and over time you realize how many of those bags you have not gone and deposited. So that, has an effect on you in the sense that, that's a big change.
Okay, now the next question is, what are some of the practices that you have also started following?
Yeah, so what I've been trying to do is, again, along the lines of trying to reuse a lot of the stuff that I have. Earlier, when I used to travel by train and all that, I used to get a water bottle. I think around the time that you started doing this is when I got myself a steel water bottle. Then I just started carrying that. And on longer journeys, I've also started carrying a tiffin box as well with me. And then I just get something from the station, ask them to put the food in that tiffin box, and then just have that. These are not very heavy things to carry around. Apart from that, I believe I've tried to be more conscious about the things that I consume. So I try and eat less meat now, even if it's available. Because I've realized that even if you enjoy meat, there's this misconception that, you are a non-vegetarian, so by default, if there is non-veg on a menu at a place that you go to, you have to order. Right? So I've started trying to think about that a little bit more, in the sense that if it's just one of those throwaway meals that you're not going to really remember, and it's not like an occasion or like a really special dish or something, I might as well order a veg equivalent that I like, because I do enjoy a lot of veg food as well. We recently tried out a vegan burger, it was quite nice. So if it's again, this was just a meal that I was hungry, I needed to eat something, and then we thought, okay, I'll give the vegan burger a shot, and then maybe I can, have it more often in future. I actually found it to be relatively close in terms of taste. So that's what I'm saying. Suppose you're just at home and you're hungry and you're ordering something in, and you have a good alternative, it doesn't hurt to get that. Of course, if you're going somewhere and the place is known for a really good non-veg dish or whatever, it's an occasional indulgence. That's where I am at right now. But I'm trying to cut down on meat consumption as well, a little bit. So those are some of my changes.
Okay, so do you think you may ever go complete zero waste like me?
It's hard to say. It requires a lot of lifestyle changes to go completely zero waste. Partly also because a lot of the things that we're used to having and all don't really come in packaging that is particularly friendly for a lifestyle like that. So wherever it is possible, even I do try and adopt it, but I'm not there yet. And I'm optimistic that it will become easier to live a zero waste lifestyle as corporations and companies and all also warm up to the fact that we need to really think about what things are packaged in and so on. So I'm optimistic, but yeah, I don't want to make promises yet and then have that come back and bite me later.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on my veganism practice?
It's interesting. It's an interesting experiment, I feel, because you are very dedicated about it.
overnight shift.
Yeah, so I am not going to be able to do that. That level of dedication is again something I am not very confident in myself of having. The thing about veganism is in the beginning you think, oh, this is something that's very hard to do. If you are dedicated, and also I think it's become a lot easier to get stuff, to purchase and all. So if you are thinking of doing it, I think now is a good time. There are a lot of options and all, but yeah, it requires a little bit of dedication, and you have been going about it with that level of dedication. So in that sense, I've found it interesting to watch what is happening.
Okay, so a lot of people believe that vegan food is bland. Like bland. They all say it's just grass. So what do you have to say to that? You have eaten a lot of vegan food. I have, especially during this lockdown period, I have actually cooked a lot of vegan dishes. Even where we usually have to use, say, milk or butter, I've been using the vegan alternatives, and I have cooked really good vegan meals, or I believe it's really good. So what do you think? Like, do you think it's bland?
No, I don't think it's bland. I mean, all the stuff that you made was actually pretty good. So that wasn't, I don't feel that was necessarily an issue. And yeah, that is a misconception that it's not all grass. So I don't necessarily agree with that.
I think I probably started cooking way more after probably turning vegan, because I find it interesting to make even our normal Indian products, which usually have dairy products in it, with the alternatives. It's actually very interesting to see whether it holds up for the taste.
This video should be called "My Husband Debunks Zero Waste Myths."
I've already done that video. If you haven't watched it, watch it already. Alright, so now we have the final question. So final question is, what is your feedback on zero waste for beginners who are just starting out?
I think we already kind of addressed a lot of the stuff, but I would say like just sort of, so like you audited waste, like it's easy for, one easy thing to do without really requiring a lot of legwork is to kind of audit the things you do every day, right? And be a little intentional about it. Like when you drink a lot of coffee from a neighborhood shop, each time you get a paper cup, for example, right? And then you can just think like, do I need this every time? So this is something actually that I did. We had this like stainless steel mug sort of a thing. I used to go and have tea quite frequently. They give it to you in those tiny little paper cups, and you see so many of them piling up. So I just started taking this steel cup and telling him to fill it up in that. And good for me, because I would get more tea as well. And I'm sure like hundreds of cups were saved that way. So that's just an example of one small thing you can do. It's something unconscious that you just keep on doing. But when you start paying attention that, I do this every day, and then you kind of do the math as to how much waste that can possibly create. I think that's one of the easiest steps you can do. Get a metal water bottle, carry that with you while you're traveling. Most airports and railway stations and all are places where you can refill it. Put those facilities to use, and again you can cause a lot of impact in your life. Beyond that, yeah, it's mostly again food habits, things and all. Give it some thought, like as to why do you really need to have something at that point? Is there an alternative? Can you do something differently? That little bit of intentionality in day-to-day actions, I feel, can at least get you started. And beyond that, of course, there's a lot of self-education. You can follow people like Nayana and get more information and start adopting more advanced practices. But just being intentional in day-to-day life is the biggest sort of starting point I feel that you can have. It's not to say that you do something and then you just sit back and gloat and say, look, I've done my bit for the environment. I don't think any of us are. It'll take a lot of work. But keep doing things at your own pace, but keep trying to go forward as with each passing day or month or year.
I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos on zero waste or even vegan lifestyle. So I will see you again in the next video. So until then, bye bye.